I didn't want to be a rock star. I didn't want to be a movie star. I want to be a health-based culinary expert, a cook star, and so can you. Hi, I'm Remy of Cook Time with Remy, and welcome to Chef Club Box Fresh. Today we're going to make roasted pork loin with a mango cucumber salsa and garlic sautéed greens with white beans. For step one, we're actually going to add our spice rub onto our pork loin here. So what we have mixed already is some salt, pepper, brown sugar, cumin, and some allspice. And so what I like to do is I just like to get some spices and sort of just pat it on there like this. And so extra you can just sort of set it on there and make it sort of act like a sponge almost with the spices. And just keep on sprinkling and patting like this. And you want to make sure the entire surface is covered so that we can get a good nice crust and can really get the flavor in there. So once the meat is fully covered like so, we're going to go ahead and bring it over to the stove. So remember to always wash your hands after touching raw meat, just to be safe. Now we're going to go ahead and get some oil. I already have my pan on medium-high here. I'm going to go ahead and, so you can see it, where it happens. You just want to be very careful. We're going to get our pork loin and just set it on there. And what you're really looking for here is to get a nice sear on it on all sides. It'll only take about 5 to 6 minutes at the most. And that way you get a really good crust and it's awesome texture. Does not take long at all because with the spices, it looks like it's already seared. So as you can see, it's seared on all sides now, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off this heat. I already had my oven preheated at 400 degrees, and we're just going to let this go in there about 10 to 15 minutes, or at least until the juice starts running clear, and that's when you know it's fully cooked. And so now, while that is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and go on to step 2, which is making our greens. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on my stove and get medium-high heat. We're going to add some oil, as usual. Nice, good amount in there. And then we're going to add some garlic, very aromatic, and it's going to have a huge flavor. I'm going to add some onions that are sliced nice and thin, which is also going to give a great flavor and nice texture. They're going to probably get a little bit nice and soft and caramelized. So we're just going to let those saute for just a little bit so that they can really get tender. Oh, it's already starting. I mean, the smell of the meat was amazing, but now this is, oh, my kitchen smells like a dream. So just toss those around a little bit. You really only want them to get a little bit soft. We're going to go ahead and add our crushed red pepper, add some nice heat. If you're not a huge fan of heat, you can add maybe a little less or even omit it. I'm going to stir that around and make sure everything is coated well. And now we're going to go ahead and add our greens. I like to use kale. It's a nice hearty green and really works well for this dish. I'm going to turn this on a little bit. And you sort of want to let it sit in there a little longer. It's going to wilt a little bit and you can start stirring it around better. We're also going to add our beans. And what you want to do with the beans is you really want to make sure that you wash them so you don't have all of that goop on them. And we have some lemon juice. And then a little bit of salt. And pepper. And so yeah, as you can tell, the greens are really working a lot easier now because they're a little bit more cooked. So it's much easier to stir around. Stir this some more. Fun fact, the U.S. is actually the world's largest producers of dry beans. Just a little anecdote for your little cooking time. Just think about how many beans we produce. Okay, so that is about finished. We're going to let that sit for now. We're going to wait till our pork loin is done. We're going to work on our salsa. So step 3, now we're going to go ahead and make our salsa. So I actually, as you can see, I took the pork loin out of the oven, but it's very important that you let it rest, otherwise it can get super dry. So we're going to let it rest for 5 minutes, and we're going to go ahead and make the salsa right now while we're waiting. So what I actually have in my bowl already is just some lime juice and orange juice. I'm going to go ahead and add our mango. Of course, now I love mangoes. And you know, a lot of people in the world do too, because it's actually the national fruit in India, Philippines, and Pakistan. And mango trees can bear fruit for up to 300 years. That would be awesome. I wish I could have fruit for 300 years. I just never eat anything else. Then we're going to go ahead and add our cucumbers and our jalapeno, give it a nice crunch and little kick. I'm going to add some green onions, some freshness, and then a little bit of cilantro. You want to save a little bit for garnish. And then we're just going to go ahead and stir this together like this. And it's very important that you get it well incorporated because citrus is really going to complement all of these ingredients and sort of bring it together. So now that the salsa is done, I'm going to go ahead and go over to our pork loin. You're going to be very careful whenever you're cutting this. So I got a fork. We're going to cut it in about 1/2 inch rounds here, or 1.5 inch actually. And you want to make sure you get a good clean cut through like that. I use a serrated knife, it's just a lot easier. So our meat is sliced, our salsa is done, and our greens are done. Now we have to plate. So what I'm actually going to do first, I'm going to get some of my greens here. Make sure you get a nice little toss up just in case, make sure everything's incorporated. Just get a nice flop and put it on my plate like so. A little bit more green in there. I love some greens. And then we're going to get my pork here. I'm going to, one at a time, please. Be very patient. We're just going to line it up like that. And then we're going to get our salsa here and just serve it on the side. Like this. Oof. And I really love about this dish is that the mangoes provide such a pop of color with the green. And there's so much green on this plate. It's so good to eat green foods. Green onion. And get, of course, some parsley just to sprinkle. And there you have it. It's time for the taste test. So I'm going to grab me a little bit of this pork loin here. I got to make sure I got to get the outside because I really want to try that rub. And then we're going to get some of my greens and beans here. It's so good. But my mouth is so full of it and I want to eat some more. The spices on the pork loin really come together so well, especially the cumin. It really shines throughout. And then it's really complemented with the very boldness of the garlic and the spiciness of the crushed red pepper and the beans and greens. And I'm going to get like a nice little appetite cleanser with my salsa here. I'm going to make sure to get some mango. Mango's trying to run away from me. It's okay. I will get you. There you go. That is just awesome. The mango sweetness is complemented by the jalapenos spiciness. Whenever they combine together, it's just an incredible taste. Well, I hope you try this dish at home and I hope you love it. I'll see you next time. And that way you get a really good crushed. Hey, I've done this before.